Okay, do you hear me? Can you send me the link of the YouTube? I wanna test if my voice is okay. And if somebody has the game room. Thanks. Come. Give me a moment, I'm fine. I can't connect to the room. No. Tell them to wait for me. Working now. Okay guys, welcome. Give me a moment to set up. So we have the quarterfinals of the Cup, the World Cup. We have Russia against Turkey. And it seems like Russia's gonna start with Wert. That's CMPHB. And V. Oh, that's Kitsune with the funny flag. So the Turkish guys are deciding the Turkish guys are deciding on the lineup. Dr. Bounce made a silly question about starting red or so he's gonna start with Google. Google, Dr. Bounce, and Ahora are gonna be the starting lineup. They have in the bench Zahir, Wicht, Bamberg, and the Russians have Vidal, Nempayech, and Roy, and Diva. They are discussing about the color. Dr. Bounce doesn't know his Turkish flag, so he's putting some blue. I'll let you guys know when it starts. Game has. The Russians are taking the kickoff. Kitsune and B don't know who is gonna take the kickoff, and both went for the ball. The Turkish are seem to be favorites to win this game according to the odds posted in Discord by some members. Let's see who's gonna score the first goal. We're trying a defensive move and almost did it, but Google just scored the first goal of the game. Now Kitsune counter-attacks and scores, so the game is 1-1. So I'm a little distracted, but some defensive mistake between Kitsune and Vert. The Turkish team quickly scores another one. They're trying a Russian kickoff, but Vert forgot he had to do it and didn't go for it. The Turkish team not looking that strong as I expected. Kitsune taking a while to score that. She should have scored that. Now Vert has an open net. And the game is tied 2-2. So far it's very even between these two teams. B making a huge mistake on defense and just team bombed his keeper. Gave an easy goal to Google. They're trying, I don't know the kickoff from the Russians team. I'm not sure if they're trying the Brazilian kickoff. Ooh, with a great shot. It's supposed to now be with a great shot on force from the wall. The game's very tight. The Russians struggle a little bit on the kickoff from the Russians. Now B made a great save. Google should have scored that open net, but his shot wasn't strong enough. Interesting lineup, starting lineup by the Turkish team. Usually during the group stage they were starting with Zahir. Good bomb there by Google, and Dr. Bounce just taps it in. Turkish team taking the lead now. Bad kickoff now. Kitsune and B team bump each other again, and B's not able to control himself. Pure back. I'm back and ooh, B with a lucky situation now. Dr. Bounce takes angle shot and scores as Kitsune is not able to defend. They are saying some stuff in Russian now. I don't know if this kickoff is working at all because they're missing the third player to come. We're just staying on the back while B and Kitsune are trying the Brazilian kickoff against 3 people. It's not gonna work. But I also think the Turkish team is not that strong right now. It's just that the Russians are making a lot of silly mistakes, especially on defense. They're getting slowly bumped out of the way. You can see just Ahura is camping in the midfield, not doing much effort. Good bumps there defensively by Kitsune. Vert gives away the ball. Counter-attack opportunity by the Russians. B's not able to control the ball. Ahura gives it away now to Kitsune. But the Russians are flying all over. Google attempts a trick shot with the ball. Vert saves it, but just left it there. And Roy is gonna make a good substitution now. It's benching B. It's good reaction. Early reaction now. He didn't tell anything to his team though. Maybe B was asking in Russian to be subbed out, I don't know. Bird with a great save defensively. Good bounce there by Vidal. The Russians are looking stronger now with Vidal. Great shot by Bird, who just tricked Ahura. Angle shot. Let's see if the Russians can defend the Turkish kickoff, which is now bad. But they're struggling on defense in the kickoff. Kitsune now has the ball and puts his team on a counter-attack situation. Vert is gonna take a shot. Google saves it, but Vidal taps it in. So good comeback by the Russians in the last minute of the game. They were down by 4 goals and suddenly now they're only down by 2. Vidal waiting for a pass, but Vert messes it up. Now Hora takes a shot. Hora missing an open net. Another opportunity now for Hora, but he's not able to control the ball. The Russians struggling right now. 30 seconds of the first period to go, and the Turkish are all on offense right now. Vert a little weak defensively right now, but they have to hold 10 more seconds. Kitsune with a mistake. Ahura misses the open net, and 5 seconds to go. A lot of mistakes by the Turkish team on offense. They could have scored several times, and it's only +2 for the Turkish team. So both teams now, Dr. Bounce is making a substitution. He put Ahura on bench and he's now trying Verk. Google, Dr. Bounce and Verk are gonna be the Turkish team, and the Russians are keeping Kitsune, Vert and Vidal. Turkish are. This is the second period of the first game. The Russians struggling on defense now. Their team bombs Vidal. That's a huge mistake there, and now there's +3 for the Turkish team. That could have been avoided. Really bad kickoff by Kitsune there, and Vidal against Google. Google misses. Oh, great saves by the Russians right now, but they're struggling a lot. Kitsune needs to get their shit together now. Yeah, the Russians are a little flyby now. Kitsune could have defended that, and I don't know what happened there. Maybe she lagged, or she just gave the ball away. Good opportunity now for Kitsune. Bird flies by, but Dr. Vance also flew by, and Kitsune scored. A lot of chat going on between the teams, but I cannot understand either Turkish or Russian. Russians looking a little shaky on defense, especially Kitsune. I don't know, she just hit the post by herself. Now getting on the way of Bird. Good counter-attack opportunity now. Kitsune not able to control the ball, but luckily Berk and Google made a mistake and she got the ball and scored. Great ball there. The Russians clearly looking better with Vidal on the team. Good bumps there by Bert. Vidal trying some trick shots on the wall. Vidal has the ball, passes to Kitsune. Kitsune takes a strong shot and Dr. Buzz deflects it. Now two Russian people chasing the ball. Bert takes a shot and that's a mistake. Now Google also with a huge mistake just gave the ball away. Could have scored that on a counter attack. Both teams are looking a little nervous, like no, they're not playing 100% well as they used to. Kitsune now with an angle shot and scores, and the game is only +1 right now for the Turkish team. I think we could try to say +1. Great opportunity now for the Russians, but it's not good enough. Google has a counter-attack opportunity, but his team is nowhere to be seen as passes to Dr. Bounce. Bird with a great trick shot on the wall puts his team on offense now. Vidal just flew by like a mile away. And now Google forces an own goal. It's +2 for the Turkish team. I gotta say, the Russians are looking like they can win this if they focus a little bit. They're just making some very silly mistakes, but overall I wouldn't say the Turkish are looking that much stronger. Now it's +3 for the Turkish team. Berg scored his first goal of the night. Good bumps there by Berg. The Russians are now on offense. A little misunderstanding between Vert and Kitsune there. Russians really need to take every opportunity they can to score because they're looking a little weak on defense though. That was a silly team bomb between Kitsune and Vert again. I'm not sure Kitsune is lagging a little bit, but she's not having the greatest game so far. She's flying by a little bit. Every time she tries to bump on offense, she's flying by. Great save there by Vert. Kitsune now has a counter attack and she's gonna score that. Google made a mistake on offense, so it's +3, +4 again for the Turkish. Russians really need to score a couple to keep this game alive in the third period. They have several alternatives on bench, so do the Turkish team. So far. But silly team bombs between Vert and Kitsune on defense again. Now Dr. Bombs misses an open net, that's embarrassing. And gives a little hope to the Russians. Vert trying to come back, but every time he's hitting somebody on his way back. Kitsune passes to Vert. Nobody's coming to offense, so Kitsune just team bombed Vert again. Not sure what's that about. Defensively, they are getting in front of each other a lot. That's dangerous, especially on defense. Just Bird flew by right now. Great save by Vidal. I mean, they're making some impressive saves sometimes, but the second period's gonna end with a +4 advantage for the Turkish team. As now we head to the third period. So far a good game, very even though. Even though it's +4, I think the Russians can take this. Dr. Gons is gonna keep the same lineup. And the Russians are deliberating, and it's gonna be... They're gonna bench Vidal, and I think that's a mistake by Roy. Vert is asking his team what's up. He said, Vliplech. Yeah, Vidal was playing really good. I don't know Diva, so I cannot comment on that substitution, but I think Vidal was playing really good. And now the Turkish team get an easy goal, +5 after a really terrible kickoff by the Russians. They don't know what they're doing right now on the kickoff. I think Verdi saying "Si Kitsune Vlashnieta." And Vlashnieta is gonna score an open net now after making her way into the net. Keeping the game alive for the Russians. Seems like Vert has an opportunity now for another goal, and that's it. Now it's +3 for the Turkish team. Could we see a comeback with the Russian team, this Russian lineup? Diva seems like a very slow-paced player, very calm on the bombs. Good save there by Kitsune. Oh, Vert gives the wall away in front of the net. That's a huge mistake. He cannot do that, and Verg just stop it in. It's +4 again. The Russians are doing the Brazilian kickoff, but it completely failed now as Diva didn't know where to go, and Vert also didn't know where to go. Strong shot by Vert now on defense, puts his team on counter-attack. Good bumps there by Diva, still not finding herself completely in this game, Kitsune. Kitsune against Google now. So really X-battle there in the midfield. Diva takes a strong shot. It's a good player so far, from what I can see. But the Russians keep making silly mistakes. Now Berg misses a shot, but he's gonna top it in now. +5 for the Turkish team. And Vert is gonna pause the game. She's saying CNPHB Naniet and they're gonna bench Kitsune. Oh no, they're just gonna move her out of position. Let's see if this works, because they need to try something. At least they're trying something. I like this. They're not giving up. They're trying different players, different line alternatives, positions. I think the kickoff is not good for the Russians. Maybe they should change the pace of the game. play more fast-paced. The slow pace is not working as this Turkish team, who are very slow-paced. Now Kitsune gets in front of Earth. He should just bomb there, and Balhok. Diva takes a shot. The Turkish team is doing a good job defensively. Good bombs there by Bear, but Diva takes the shot too soon. Still +5. The Russians need to score soon to keep this game alive. Bear missing some important necks. Now Diva also missed the necks. Google against Kitsune on the offense. Counter attack for the Russians, but Google is there to stop it. The Russians are all over defensively, and Diva takes the save on the net. Third misses the bump, and it's gonna be an easy, a good goal there by Google, who angles himself really fast and scores. So it's +6 right now for the Turkish, and Roy is gonna pause. So it's good that he pauses and try different things, but I mean he should try with a different player, maybe try. So far he's keeping Kitsune and Vert in every alternative lineup, and Vert is not looking that sharp right now. He was looking good on the first period, but not anymore. Maybe 2 minutes to go, and Dr. Bounce patiently scores another one, and I think they should bench Bert and try another player from the Russian team. I think Vidal was really good. I don't know why he got benched. I would just put this Diva guy, was not also bad, so maybe you try Diva, Kitsune, and Vidal for the second game. Hopefully they don't start with the same lineup as the one they just used for 2 periods, because it's clearly he got outplayed. And let's see if the Turkish team is gonna try something different for the second game now that they have one in the pocket. Dr. Valky, a great call on the counter attack, and scores. They're dominating the last 2 minutes. And Vert is not moving on the kickoffs. He's maybe mad, I don't know. Not looking like very calm. Maybe some disagreement with Kitsune. But I don't speak Russian, so I don't know. Certainly I've seen better from Kitsune, so especially on the bump area. She's not bumping very well this game. He has to tap in and makes the score less painful for the Russian team. But this game is over, so we're gonna go to the second game in 20 seconds. As Turkey are gonna win the first game of the quarterfinal. It's best of 3, so if Russia wins the second game, we are gonna see a third game. Let's see if it happens. So the first game is gonna be for the Turkish team. And Dr. Bounce immediately putting Sahir in for the second game. The Russians have to make some deliberation about the lineup that they want. The Russians are still deliberating about the The Russians apparently are gonna keep the same base players, Kitsune and Vert. And Vidal, I think that's a good idea to put Vidal. Second game is starting now, the countdown is happening, and Turkey are now on the red team. It's gonna get in the way of Vert now, immediately realized that she made a mistake there and had the ball for Vert. Google on the counter-attack, so this is the second game, first period, second game. The Turkish won the first game if you just join us. The Turkish team went with Ahora, Google and Vict as here's as usual making some disappearance in the important games. No idea what it is about this time, probably anxiety. Maybe is it anxiety? Google has an opportunity but Vidal blocks it. Now the Russians on the counter-attack, and I think it's important if the Russians score first, they could put a lot of pressure on the Turkish team, who are using, I guess, an alternative bench team. Great save there by Kitsune, but she's alone against two, and Google is just gonna bump her out of the net. We could take the first goal for Turkey. Silly mistakes on defense by Vert. They can do better. Now Kitsune was waiting for the ball, but Vert didn't deliver, and Google takes a counter-attack and scores. I think Roy needs to bench Vert. He's not having a good game. Maybe you should try with the Diva guy or another guy. The other Russian with a strange name. I cannot pronounce it. Who knows? He knows better. But defensively, look, Vert is struggling with the blue net right now. He's just hitting the post of the blue net. Vert just flew into Wicked, but Ahora anticipated the bomb and made it good for Turkey. Now Turkey on attack. Russians struggling on defense now. Ahora waiting for the bombs. Vert is alone on defense right now. Vidal joins him. Struggling a lot with defensive bombs. Google waiting for the bombs and scores 3-0. And Roy really needs to pass before this is too late. Turkish dominating with an alternative lineup, not their starting lineup. Kitsune, a little Balhogi, Vert not bumping properly on defense, especially. They're making a lot of silly mistakes now. Vert has an opportunity for a counter-attack. He misses the control. He's gonna score. Yes, he's gonna score 3-1, and that's an important goal for your mood. As versus Super niche team böyle van. Allah super niche tam je bolje van. No idea what that means in Turkish, but sounds serious. Russians on offense, not looking too dangerous though. Kitsune now has the ball on the counter-attack. Vert gets in the way of a shot. Now Vert has the opportunity but makes a very weak shot. Kitsune now can clear the way for Vert. Vert takes a shot. Wick saves it. Turkish team now passing. Vert is gonna save it, but flies by. Kitsune also flies by and makes a mistake and gives the ball away to Wick, who scores his second goal of the night. So it's +3 for Turkey right now. be asking for more row. And another mistake on offense by the Russians, and they give another counterattacks +4 with 1 minute to go, and Vert is not looking happy. But I think Vert is making a lot of mistakes. Also Kitsune is not playing her best, so something needs to change. Vidal is clearly the best of the 3 Russians right now, and for some reason he got benched in the first game. Hopefully that mistake is not repeated by the Russian captain, because I would like to see a third game. Dr. Bounce so far managing his team well, and he tried several different alternative lineups, and all of them are working now. Russians trying a desperate goal in the last few seconds, but they're not fast enough. They need to score. It's gonna be +4 in the first period for the Turkish team. Their period quickly started, and with a... So I got distracted and they benched Kitsune. Now V is on the lineup. I think it's not the greatest substitution when you're losing by 4 goals. And I mean, Kitsune obviously not having her best game of the night, but she's still a great player, and it's not somebody you should bench unless she's super lagged or something. Well, let's see if this works. And in my opinion, Vert is probably the one making the most mistakes in the time I saw. The Russians struggling to score 1 goal there. Right now it's +5. B takes the shot, but it's early and hits it on the goalkeeper. B and Vert bomb the same guy. No, Google hits the post, so everybody making mistakes. Dr. Bounce saying, and Berg is saying, Dr. Burlanda. Dr. Bunlarda Kishnota Yinofo. That's how you say Dr. Bounce in Turkish. Dr. Bunlarda. Dr. Bunlarda. Russians on defense. Vert just flies by. And luckily for him, nope, not lucky there. Russians have an opportunity. He tried to take a shot, but he just missed the accent. Gives a counter-attack for the Turkish team. This substitution is clearly not working. They're not playing. They're not being dangerous at all, and Vert is gonna pass and recognize that. I mean, they have tried benching everybody except Vert. Maybe they should try. Dr. Bounce doesn't know the score of his team. Somebody told the score to Dr. Bounce. Dr. Bounce Lordo. Oh, another defensive mistake by the Russians, and the streaming guy is telling us the score is +7 for the Turkish team, and this is the second period of the second game, and Russia needs to win this or they're gonna be out of the cup. I have to say 7 is doable. But if they keep making these mistakes on defense, I mean, they're just completely boosted the Turkish team into his own net, and they can't keep giving away goals like this. They're getting in the way of each other, and maybe Rose should put himself in, or somebody else. But ooh, on goal by Google there. Wait, shut the wall. But this Russian team not working. They're just flying all over and not doing smart plays. Particularly Vert and V. They should try something else now. Vert has an opportunity, but just doesn't take it. V has a chance. He misses the net. And I think Roy should pause after this next goal and make a substitution, or the game is really gonna slip away. Let's see if he does it. But yep, Vert is gonna move B out of, and he's gonna put Kitsune in. But this lineup was already losing 5 periods, so I don't think this is gonna work anyway for a comeback. Maybe they should try Vidal, Kitsune, and Diva, or somebody else, and bench Vert. Could work. I think Vert is making a lot of defensive mistakes, costing a lot of. He's dancing on the net now. Wicked waiting for the game, for a shot. Vert flies by, Wick just ankles him. Turkish guys playing with a lot of passes now. They know they're dominating and they are now making passes. Russians being very slow when they have the opportunity to counterattack. They were 3 against 1 and nobody felt confidence enough to take the ball. Vert takes a shot, Kitsune blocks it. Vert tries another shot, but Google saves it, and now Wicked takes him on the counter attack, and Horace scores it. Terrible game by the Russians. This is clearly not working. Can somebody tell me if this is the second period or the third period? I forgot. Is the streaming guy listening? Second, thanks man. Yeah, oh. We could see. Do you guys think we could see a comeback, or is this it? I'm not saying a comeback, but anything can happen if you try new players. But they need to try new players. Obviously, these lineups are not working for the Russian team. Turkey so far has tried every player on his team except for Zahir, who's seemingly unwilling to play or something. Game is +8 now. We are gonna start the third period of the second game, and if Russia doesn't win by 8 goals at least in this period, they're gonna be out. So the Turkish team are now delivering on their lineup. They're gonna be Verk, Wikt, and Ahora, and I guess this gives a little chance to the Russians. Maybe hope if they score 8, if they get this advantage of 8 goals, they can dream. I mean, why not? But Dr. Vaz seems unwilling to risk it, and he's gonna put himself with and Google. So I don't know what somebody said in Turkish, but he said, "Как я сосал-то гаражная парнишня." Dr. Vaz changed the lineup. He was gonna put his bench lineup, then he changed everybody and put again his starting lineup to finish them off. The Russians keeping the same lineup that's not working, and Vert just passes the ball to Dr. Bounce, and Dr. Bounce just taps it in. That's another mistake by Vert, and And I think the Russians are being stubborn with the lineup. They should just try. I mean, a Hail Mary in the last period. Just put one of the other Russians that didn't get in time. Why keep the same guys that are not playing well? I mean, they got dominated. Just try. They have Diva, they have Roy Merchant, and Netanyahu. Maybe try Netanyahu. Also, be played, so I would try Netanyahu. Who's like the mysterious player for Russia, and he's got a similar name as the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu. So maybe that's a plus. The Russians scoring two in a row. This is the beginning of something. They still have 4 minutes, 7 goals to go. They need 7. And Kitsune is gonna score another one. Dr. Bounce is failing on defense. And only +6 now. Let's see if the Russians can keep it going and make a surprise comeback. I'm not saying it though. Google just scores one. Wicked scores and killing the hope. The goalkeeper of Russia is not staying in his position for the kickoff. Gives the ball away now to Wicked. Vidal passes to Vert. Double bound by Vidal, and Vert is an open net and misses. That's a terrible miss by Vert. It's embarrassing, to be honest. They need to score these opportunities if they want to come back. And that was a great bound by Vidal, but then Vert just missed that for no reason. He had time. He had every angle possible. And the Turkish are not gonna forgive them and score on the counter-attack. So if that's not enough argument to bench Vert in the last period, why? What's left? I mean, I'm not saying he's not a great player, but he's not having a great game now. He just team-bombed Kitsune on defense. Dr. Bounce passes to Google. Google scores another one. Now it's +9. Vert is blinking and looking mad every kickoff. He just flew by now and not doing his job as goalkeeper. Another mistake there by Vert, but luckily for him, Dr. Bounce also making some mistakes. It's really terrible game by the Russians. I think they also mismanaged the substitutions. In the second period, they put out Vidal, and Vidal was their best player. 9 goals, 2 minutes. I think I'm gonna call it, and Russia got completely dominated by Turkey. I would say, apart from the first period, that there was seemingly some hope. The rest of the game, it looked like there is no chance. Now Vert with a trick shot on the wall and scores his goal. Netanyahu is gonna say a paragraph in Russian. He said, I think Roy hurt him, and Roy is gonna put the 3 bench players with 2 minutes to go and +10. I think it's +10. I don't understand those substitutions, but the Russians immediately is gonna score. Is it plus? Wait, let me think. Well, I gotta say the Russians already looking better. It's +8. Diva, very calm player. Netanyahu, seemingly good so far. B is a very fast-paced guy. B has an opportunity. Diva with an open net and he's gonna score. And the 3 bench players already playing better in this last 2 minutes than the other Russians played in the entire game. Oh, that was almost a miss by Wicked, but he finally scored. I mean, this is the sort of stuff you gotta try, but earlier, dude. Why wait until there's only 1 minute to go to try your bench players? I mean, you were down by 8 goals. Try them earlier, dude. Not saying these guys are better than the other guys, but they're. I mean, in 20 seconds they scored 2 goals, so why not try that shit earlier, dude? And in 8 minutes, we have another quarterfinal game between Brazil and the United States of America. And I'm also gonna commentate it. I'm not sure it's gonna stream it yet. Josie's in charge. So far, this period is gonna end, and the Turkish team are gonna advance to the semi-finals. Turkey against Great Britain on the semi-finals, lower semi-finals, and Poland are waiting for their opponent, like whoever wins Brazil against America. That's a good game, guys. Turkey completely dominated the Russian team, and that's it for the. So this is it for this game, but we have another game coming up next in like 5 minutes or so. Brazil against the US. So see you there.